Pag-usapan naman natin yung cardinality of union of 3 sets. Or sabihin natin, 2 or more sets, no? Say for example, ito yung tatlong set na sinasabi natin. So this is your set A. Sabihin natin this is your set B. And this is your set C. So pag kinuha natin yung cardinality ng union of these sets, let's say this is your N, A, union B, union C, we can get this actually by adding first the number of elements on each set. So this is N sub A, N sub B plus N sub C. So pag inad natin yan guys, so makikita natin na ayan, may mga area kung saan overlapping yung dalawang or tatlong circles, no? So unahin natin na ibawas itong area na to kung saan nag-overlap si A and B. So this is your A intersection B. So ibawas natin ito. This will be minus the number of elements in A intersection B. So bali guys, pag idinagdag natin si C, so makita natin na nag-overlap siya sa A and B, di ba? So ibawas naman natin, o unahin natin itong area na to, kung saan makikita natin, this represents, ano ba? Itong area na to, this represents the intersection of B and C. So ibawas natin ito, this will be minus and B intersection C. So, ano na lang guys, yung sobra dito na kailangan natin ibawas. So, actually lang ibabawas na lang natin dito or kailangan natin ibawas dito is itong area na lang na to. Which is, hindi natin alam kung ano yan, di ba? But actually, pwede natin makuha yung equivalent set niyan. Kasi kung titingnan natin guys, no, dyan sa Venn diagram, so itong area na to na kailangan natin kunin is actually a part of what? Part yan ng, ano ba? So, itong area na to, this is your A intersection C. No? So, bali kung kukunin ko tong area na to, so basically, we can get this by what? Getting this A intersection C and you subtract this set. So, ano kaya ang equivalent set naman na to? So, bali guys, kung titingnan natin, dyan nag-intersect yung tatlong set natin. So, we can say that this is A intersection B intersection C. So, bale, itong shaded portion pala, so ibawas na lang natin yan. This is A intersection B intersection C. So, lagay natin dito sa equation natin. This will be minus. So, itong area na to is equal to this, no? This is N A intersection C minus N A intersection B intersection C. Okay. So, bali guys, makikita natin dito sa equation na to na parang may sinusunod siya na pattern, di ba? So, tanggalin ko tong bracket na to. So, distribute natin ito minus. So, this will be plus na, no? So, may sinusunod talaga yun na pattern. Kasi kung titingnan natin, unang ginawa natin is ano? Inad muna natin yung mga elements that belong to, okay, at least one set. Ibinawas naman natin yung elements that belong to at least 2 sets and idinagdag natin yung elements that belong to at least 3 sets. So, pwede natin to actually extend kahit ilang number of set pa. So, for our next problem, so sabi dyan, we have a total of 430 students. So, let us say guys, that is your N. And to get rid of boredom, so bali 200 students yung ayan, nag-consume ng time nila sa Facebook lang. So let us say, so andi dito siya sa set A, no? So bali dito we have 200. Actually in this problem we have 3 sets, no, to be considered. Set of students na nasa Facebook, set of students na nasa YouTube, and nasa Netflix. So yung nasa YouTube naman we have, so this is equal to 150. While on Netflix, so this is equal to 180. So 70 watch videos both on Facebook and YouTube. So let us say that is Ayan, A and B. So, bali dito we have 70. So, on YouTube and Netflix naman, so meron naman tayong 60, no? So, let us say, number of elements on set B and C, this is 60. And, sa Facebook and Netflix, we have 80. So, let us say that is the number of elements na nasa set A and nasa set C. So, this is 80. So, using Venn diagram, guys, ang kailangan nating hanapin dito is the number of students that can serve all the 3 websites, no? So, bale dito, 60 students yung walang access sa internet, no? So, solve natin ito using Venn diagram. So, ang pinapahanap is ito. Let us say, X represents the number of elements na nasa set A, B, and C. So, let us say, guys, ito yung set A natin. So, we have a total of, this is equal to 200. So, dito naman si set B. So, ito naman, this is 150. And for set C, ilagay natin dito, this is equal naman to 180. So, ilagay natin dito, guys, si X, no? Ayan, dyan sa point na, or dyan sa portion na yan, nag-intersect si A, B, and C. So, bali mangyayari dito, guys, itong area na to kung saan nag-intersect sa A and B. So, 70 yung total number of elements dyan, no? So, this will be 70 minus X. While naman dito sa B and C, this will be 60 minus X. And then dito, we have 80 minus X. So, lagyan natin ito ng number of elements dito. So, we have 200, guys. Total yan, number of elements of A. So, ibawas natin ito, and then ito, we will have, okay, 50 plus X, no? So, 200 minus 150. And then dito naman, this is 150 minus, 70 minus 60. So, dito naman magkakaroon tayo ng 20. So, this is plus X. So, and then dito, we will have 40 plus X. So, bali guys, para makuha natin yung total, or sabi natin yung value ng X na to. So, pag sinum up natin itong lahat, this is equal to what? So, 430 ba yan? So, actually, hindi yan 430 kasi merong 60 na walang access sa internet, no? So, bali mangyayari dyan, pag inad natin ito, no? Inad natin lahat ng elements na nandito, this will be equal to 430 minus 60, no? So, i-add natin ito, lahat ng elements na nandito, this will be 50 plus X. This is plus 20 plus X. This is plus 40 plus X. So, idagdag pa natin yung, 70 minus X. Si 60 minus X. And si 50 or si 80 minus X. And then, of course, plus X. So, bali guys, dito sa equation na to, so itong tatlong X na to, guys, tatanggal lang naman yun. So, ang matitira sa atin dito actually will be, so 430 minus 60, this is equal to 370. And then ito, pag inad naman natin ito lahat, this will be 50, 70, 110, 180, 240, and so meron tayo dito 240 plus 80, this is equal to 320. No, this is plus X. So therefore, ang value ng X natin dito will be equal to 50 students. So bali yan guys, no, yung number of students na may access dyan sa tatlong website na yan, no? So actually, we can solve this using the principle na diniscuss ko sa inyo kanina, no? So, by principle of inclusion and exclusion, no need na to draw Venn diagram. Ano lang gagawin natin? So, sabi natin, yung union of set will be, okay, so kung titingnan natin guys, so, ang total number of elements natin dito is not equal to 430. Kasi kung i-enclose natin ito, let's say enclose natin by a universal set, so bali yung 60 is nasa labas ng tatlong set na to, no? So, bali mangyayari, so ang total number of elements kapag kinuha natin yung union nitong tatlo, this will be, ayan na nga, 370. So, using principle of inclusion and exclusion, so i-add lang natin yung, okay, yung number of elements that belong to at least one set, no? This will be 200, 150, 180, and ibawas naman natin dito, okay, yung number of elements naman that belong to at least two sets, no? So, this will be minus 70, this is plus 60, plus 80, and this will be plus x. So, galing dito sa equation na to, guys, we can solve actually the value of x, no? So, this will be 200. So, 150 plus 180 minus 70 plus 60 plus 80. So, pag kinuha natin yan, guys, so, ang makuha natin actually dito na value ng x will be equal to 50 din. So, ang advantage, guys, pag alam mo tong principle of inclusion and exclusion, pag maramihan ng sets ang pinapakonsider sa atin, so mahirap, guys, gumawa ng Venn diagram. So kung alam natin ito, so no need na to draw Venn diagram. So masosolve na natin kung ano man yung pinapahanap, no?
Moving on to basic applications of derivatives, we will be tackling a motion problem first, specifically a lunar projectile motion problem. So in this example, a rock thrown vertically upward from the surface of the moon at a velocity of 24 meters per second, about 86 kilometers per hour, reaches a height of s equals 24t minus 0.8 t squared meters in t seconds. Alright, so we're given a function, the height as a function of time. We are asked to find the rock's velocity and acceleration at time t. So the acceleration in this case is the acceleration of gravity on the moon. Okay. Next, we are asked B, how long does it take the rock to reach its highest point? C, how high does the rock go? D, how long does it take the rock to reach half of its maximum height? And E, how long is the rock aloft, or how long is it suspended in air? All right. So shown in the figure is the path of the projectile. Okay, so the location of the reference axis as well, where s equals 0, and the apex of the projectile, where s equals s max, or the apex is also known as the highest point. Alright, so we are also given the function of height with respect to t. Since the problem consists of parts a through e, we will be approaching it by part, starting with a. So for A, we are asked to define the velocity function and the acceleration function in terms of time t. Now, recalling that velocity is the ratio of the change in distance to the change in time, we have v equals the limit as delta approaches 0 of delta s over delta t. Now, that will yield ds over dt. So that means that we will v, or the velocity, is simply the derivative of the height function, okay, the distance function. So we have 24t, alright, the derivative rather with respect to t of 24t minus 0.8 t squared, and that will yield a velocity function of 24 minus 1.6 t meters per second. Now, moving on to acceleration, we recall that acceleration is the ratio of the change in velocity to the change in time. Alright, so we have a equals the limit as delta approaches 0 of delta v over delta t. Alright, so that will yield dv over dt, which means that we only have to take the derivative with respect to time of the velocity function. Alright, so then we have ddt of 24 minus 1.6 t, and that will yield an acceleration of negative 1.6 meters per second squared. Alright, so that means that the acceleration is constant while the velocity is changing with respect to time. Okay, so let's move on to B. We are now asked to determine how long it takes the rock to reach its apex or highest point. Now, for the rock to reach the highest point, it should be understood that the rock momentarily stops at the apex of its ascent. Alright? Now, therefore, we can determine time t by equating the velocity function to 0, okay? Because the rock, again, momentarily stops at the apex, right? So, when v equals 0, t equals 15 seconds, right? So, we have 24 minus 1.6 t equals 0. And therefore, t equals 15 seconds, okay? So, in this part, letter C, or C rather, in this part, we are asked to determine how high the rock goes or the maximum height of the projectile, right? Now, having solved for the time it took for the rock to reach its maximum height, we will simply plug in that value of t into the function for height s, alright? So, we will have s equals 24t minus 0.8 t squared at t equals 15 seconds. Alright, so we have s equals 24 times 15 minus 0.8, 15 squared. Alright, so s is therefore 180 meters. Okay, so that is our maximum height. Moving on to letter D, having solved for the maximum height, the student may plug in half of that value, which is 90 meters, to the function for height and solve for the time that it takes for the rock to reach half of the maximum height. Alright? So there, we will have s equals 24t minus 0.8t squared at s equals 90 meters. Alright? So that will yield 90 equals 24t minus 0.8 t squared. Now, since this is a quadratic equation, there are two values of time that may be calculated using the quadratic formula. Now, these are 4.39 seconds and 25.61 seconds. Notice that there are two values of time since there are two roots for this equation. This is understandable since the rock will pass that point twice, once during ascent and once during descent. The problem is probably specifying the time it takes for the rock to reach half of the maximum height for the first time, right? Therefore, we will choose the earlier time. T equals 4.39 seconds. And anyway, in your board exams, you will have choices, right? So next, for part E, in this part of the problem, we are asked how long the rock has been away from its original point. Alright? So therefore, we may use the function for height, s, and set the position to 0. Alright? So we will have s equals 24t minus 0.8 t squared, and be evaluating that at s equals 0 meters. Alright? So we have 0 equals 24t minus 0.8 t squared. Alright, now since this is a quadratic equation, again, there are two values of time that may be calculated using the quadratic equation. And therefore, we will have a time of 0 and 30 seconds. Right? So, understandably, at 0 seconds, the rock is still ascending. While at 30 seconds, the rock has already descended. And therefore, the time for the rock to return to its original position is 30 seconds.
A woodman chops halfway through a tree of diameter 60 centimeters, one face of the cut being horizontal and the other inclined 30 degrees with the horizontal. Find the volume of the wood cut in centimeters cube. Okay? So, para dito sa problem, so, ganun din siya. Same dun sa, or similar dun sa unang problem. So, dapat, ma-imagine natin, no, ano yung volume na pinapasolve based dun sa conditions na binibigay ng problem natin. Okay? So, try natin i-drawing yung magiging figure, no, para ma-imagine natin kung ano yung volume. So, ito daw yung tree. So, imagine, no, meron tayong part ng tree. So, cylindrical yan. Ang diameter daw niyan, or ang top view niyan, kapag tinignan natin, syempre, circle siya. And, ang diameter ng circle na yon ay 60 centimeters. Yun yung sinabi sa problem, nag-cut daw hanggang halfway. Yung ibig sabihin, kapag tinignan ng top view, ito lang red na to, yung nakikita natin na nakat na portion. So, hanggang gitna lang. Okay? So, paano natin yan makikita dun sa log natin? So, for example, nandito yung circular section natin. So, since hanggang halfway lang or halfway lang yung pag-cut, ito lang yung makikita natin ngayon, no? Yung semicircle lang na yan. And, syempre, hindi ka naman makakakat ng volume ng ganyan lang. Meron ka pang isang cut, which is 30 degrees daw from the horizontal. Okay? So, na-imagine nyo na ngayon, no, kung ano yung volume na pinapasolve sa problem. Para mas makita natin kung ano yung volume na yan, drawing natin ng hiwalay. So, ganito yung figure niya. Okay? So, paano natin yan isosolve ngayon? Kukuha tayo, so katulad nung problem kanina, kukuha tayo ng differential volume, no? And para makuha yung differential volume, titignan natin, no, ano ba yung area na nakikita natin kada cutting plane na ginagawa natin, no? Okay. So, kapag ganito yung problem, lahat ng cutting plane natin, which is perpendicular doon sa diameter, ang makikita natin na shape ay triangle. Okay? So, ito yun. So, halimbawa, nag-cut tayo dito. Yung dimension na yon ay x, yun yung base ng triangle natin. Sabihin natin na yung height na katumbas niyan ay y. Okay? So, the area of the triangle is 1/2 of x times h. So, h pala yun, no? So, hindi y. Then, we can use the trigonometric function na tangent. So, tangent of 30 degrees is h over x. We can say that h is x tangent 30 degrees. Then, substitute natin yan. Yung area natin ngayon ay 1/2 x squared na siya times tangent 30. So, yung h pinalitan natin siya ng x tangent 30. No? So, paano tayo magkakaroon ng volume dito? Lalagyan lang uli natin ng kapal yung area na to. Okay? So, kapag nilagyan natin ng kapal yan, ganito na yung makikita natin doon sa triangle, no? So, ito yung thickness niyan, which is dy. So, ito yung dimensions natin na x and h. So, ito ngayon yung differential volume natin. So, differential volume is only the area times yung thickness, no? So, area is 1/2 x squared tangent 30 degrees. Ang thickness niyan ay dy. So, integrate natin both sides para makuha natin yung solution. Okay? So, yung volume natin is tangent of 30 degrees over 2 times x squared dy. Okay? So, hindi pa natin yan ma-integrate kasi y yung variable of integration natin. And meron pa tayong variable na x, no? So, what we need to do is we express x in terms of y. So, paano natin ma-express x in terms of y? Tignan natin yung circle natin dito, no? So, di ba sinet natin na yung center niyan nasa origin and yung radius niyan ay 30, no? Kasi diameter is 60. So, kapag sinulat natin, x squared is equal to 30 squared minus y squared. So, substitute lang natin yan. That is tangent 30 over 2. Yung x squared, palitan natin, 30 squared minus y squared dy. Then, apply natin yung limits. So, saan ba gagalaw yung strip natin na yan? Gagalaw yan from bottom papunta sa taas. So, yung bottom ay y is equal to negative 30. So, negative nung radius. Yung top naman is positive 30. So, dun sa taas ng radius, no? So, lagay natin yon dun sa limits natin. So, the volume is 10,392.305 cubic centimeters. Okay? So, ito yung integral calculus na solution natin dyan. So, pwede rin uli natin i-check yung solution dito. Katulad ng problem number 1, we can again use prismoidal formula. Okay? Recall lang natin. So, prismoidal formula is V is equal to L over 6, area 1, plus 4 times area middle, plus area 2. Okay? So, substitute natin. Ano yung value natin ng L dyan? Yung dimension perpendicular doon sa cutting plane natin, no? And ito yon. So, yung L natin is equal doon sa diameter. So, that will be 60 over 6. Ano yung area 1 natin? Kapag nag-cut tayo ng plane dito sa dulo, dun sa bottom, or dun sa top, ano yung makikita natin na area dyan? Which is 0, no? Kasi wala tayong area doon. So, plus 4 times area middle. So, syempre, yung pinakamalaking triangle natin sa gitna makikita. And ang value natin ng x sa middle ay 4. So, substitute lang natin dun sa equation, no? Or ang x natin is 30. Okay? Substitute lang natin dun. So, dito sa bottom, kapag nag-cut tayo ng plane, ang area uli natin ay 0. Okay? So, ang volume na masasolve natin dito ay same pa rin, no? So, 10,392.305 cubic centimeters, no?
Compass surveying. It is a type of surveying na gumagamit ng magnetic compass for the direction and then tape for the length. The angles can be measured by bearing or by azimuth. Bearing are angles less than 90 degrees within a quadrant, which is defined by cardinal directions. Ito ang cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. Azimuth, on the other hand, is an angle between 0 degree to 360 degree, measured clockwise from the south. Conversion example. We have an azimuth of 150 degrees. Since this is 180 degrees lahat, this angle here is 30 degrees. So the bearing is 30 degrees NW, or that is 30 degrees west of north. Be careful sa bearing. Pag NW, we read it as west of north, meaning west part from the north. Usual mistake, binabasa ito na north of west. Pag ganun kasi, north part from the west. Ibang angle po yun, so be careful. Now, our compass is technically just a magnet or magnetized needle that will point towards the magnetic north. Take note that we have geographic north and magnetic north. Ang geographic north, ito yung nasa North Pole. Dito nagpapass through ang axis of rotation ng Earth. If may globe model kang makita, the point here is yung geographic north. Ang magnetic north naman, dito patungo ang direction ng compass needle. If you think about it, in magnet, opposite attracts. The same sign repels. So if north itong nasa compass needle, bakit ito na-attract sa magnetic north? Well, technically, the one we call as magnetic north is actually the magnetic south.
NANI?
So to be clear, every time we use the word magnetic north, we are referring to the one near the geographic north. So physically, it is a south, but we call it magnetic north. The angle between the true north and the magnetic north is what we call the magnetic declination. Its value varies depending sa location ng pag-measure. If you look at a map, the drawings are referred to the true north. And when we use the compass for surveying, we have to correct the values measured since compass points at the magnetic north. At dyan papasok ang magnetic declination. Rick and Morty, using the portal gun, travels back in time, around 1890. Using a compass, they measure the bearing of the line as 32 degrees 12 minutes east of north. Ang magnetic declination sa area at this time is 1 degree 12 minutes west. After nito, bumalik sila sa current time. And then they notice that the magnetic declination becomes 2 degrees 32 minutes east. So question 1. What is the true bearing of the line? The true bearing, ito yung naka-refer sa true cardinal direction. So this angle here, this is 32 degrees 12 minutes minus 1 degree 12 minutes, giving us 31 degrees. The true bearing of this line, this is 31 degrees east of north. For the second question, ano ang magnetic azimuth of the line in the current time? Take note, magnetic azimuth ang tanong. So, ang angle measurement must be referred sa magnetic south. Sa current time, ito ang magnetic north. So, this is our magnetic south. Azimuth is referred sa south, so this is the angle papunta sa line. The true bearing is 31 degrees. Ang magnetic declination sa present time is 2 degrees 32 minutes. So sa ilalim, this is also 2 degrees 32 minutes. So our azimuth is 180 degrees plus 31 minus 2 degrees 32 minutes, giving us 208 degrees 28 minutes. So this is our answer, number 2.
Let me draw first kung ano yung figure ng problem based doon sa statement ng problem natin. Okay po? So, ito yung ito yung figure natin. Ang sabi diyan guys, base dun sa given, a compound curve is laid out 105 meter from PC to the PCC. Ibig sabihin, yung length ng curve 1 na to is 105 meters. Okay? And then, next is, ano sabi diyan? Another curve was laid out to PT 140 meter long. So, meaning this is 140 meters, no? Okay, ano pa? Yung radius daw ng unang curve, okay, ng R1 is technically 200 meter, no? Okay, at yung isa naman, ang kanyang radius ay, ano ba ito? 210. Okay, so yung R2 is equal to 210 meter. Tapos, ano daw to, no? Sabi dyan, yung stationing daw ng point of intersection is located at 10 plus 430. So, ibig sabihin nun, okay, ito yung ating tangents, and it intersects at station. What is that station? 10 plus 430, no? 10 plus 430. And then, syempre dahil tangent to, 90 degrees to. Ano pa yung ating given dyan? So, yan na, no? Ang tinatanong is stationing ng PC, PCC, tsaka PT. So, ganun pa din. Syempre, again, I told you a while ago, whenever you solve a compound curve, you always draw this one, no? Yung common tangent natin. Diba? Ayan. So, yan yung common tangent. So, this one is T sub 1, T sub 1, T sub 2, tapos ano ito? T sub 2 din ito. Okay, ano ang posible nating makuha dyan, class? If you will observe each curve, given yung radius at saka yung ating length. So, ibig sabihin, class, posible natin dyang masolve. Halimbawa, we can solve for I1 and I2. Okay? Paano? So, we know for a fact in a simple curve na ang length ng curve, say sa unang curve, length of curve 1 is technically pi r sub 1 times I sub 1 all over 180. That's why, no? Okay, if you want to get I1, okay, that is simply 180 length ng curve number 1 over, ano to, pi r sub 1. Okay, so calculating 180, ano yung length ng curve number 1 natin? 105 divided by pi, ano yung radius? 200. Okay, so for I1, ang ating angle is equal to, let us calculate muna, no? So that's 180 times 105 over pi. Teka, 180 times 105 over pi times 200. Okay, and the answer is 30.08. So if I'm not mistaken, no? Ayan, 180 times length of curve 1 over pi r1. So, that is 30.08 meters. Okay? Meters, 30.08 degrees. Okay, sorry naman po. So, I1 is 30.08. So, siguro pwede ko nang gawin tong 30 degrees, no? Para hindi naman masakit sa ulo. So, for I sub 2, syempre, following the same procedure, that is 180 length ng curve 2 over pi r sub 2. So, ganun din naman mangyayari dyan. So, therefore, that is 180. What is the length of curve number 2? That is 140 all over pi times 210. So, therefore, ang value ng I2 is now equal to, okay, 180 times 140 over pi times 210. The answer is equal to 38.2. Okay, so this is equal to 38.2 degrees. Okay po. Ayan. So, yan po yung nangyari. So, ngayon, dahil alam mo na yan, lagay na natin dito. So, this I is 30 degrees and I2 is 38.2. Po, 38.2. Ayan. Lagyan natin degrees. Ngayon, ano pa yung pwede nating makuha dyan? So, essentially, pwede din nating makuha dyan yung T1 tsaka T2. Kitang-kita naman, ano? Okay, so, paano ba yung T1? That is R tangent I over 2. So, erase ko to para makita natin. Okay? Okay, so kunin natin. T sub 1 is equal to R sub 1 tangent I1 over 2. Okay, so let us calculate that, no? So, yung R1 natin is 200 tangent. Ano yung I1? 30 all over 2. So, therefore, ang value ng T sub 1 is now equal to 200 tangent of 15. So, the answer is equal to 53.59. Okay, 53.59. That is equal to 53.59 meters, no? Okay, that is the idea. Next, you can also get for the RT sub 2, that is R2 tangent I sub 2 over 2. Okay, therefore, anong R2 natin? That is 210 tangent of 38.2 all over 2. So, therefore, our value of tangent here is, okay, calculate natin. That's 200 tangent of 38.2 all over 2. So, the answer is 72.72, no? That is 72.72 meters. Okay, so lagay natin dito. So, sulat ko dito, no? T1 is equal to 53.59 meters. Tapos, yung T sub 2 dito is equal to 72.72 meters. Okay. Ngayon, ganito. Ano pa yung kailangan nating makuha? So, erase ko muna to, no? Okay. So, if you're going to look at this, since you know the value of T1 and T2, no? Okay. So, basically, you can get now this angle. So, guys, kung ito 30, di ba ito rin yung I1? So, this one is 30 degrees. Tapos, etong isa, eto, this is equal to 38.2 degrees. Ngayong class, from that idea, we can also get this angle. Okay? So, paano natin makuha yan? Alam niyo naman, sum of angles of a triangle is 180. So, that's 180 minus 30 minus 38.2. The answer is 111.8. No? Okay, that is 111.8. Okay po. So, ngayon, paano natin makukuha yung stationing ng PC? So, pwede nating makuha yan. So, lagyan natin dito T1, no? Kung makuha natin tong distansyang to, no? Okay, which is equal to T1. T1 kasi to mula dito hanggang dito, which is, lagay na nga natin. This is 53.59 meters. So, ang kailangan natin makuha again is yung length mula dito hanggang dito. Let me call it X, no? Okay, so, if you're going to draw again the triangle, this one will look like this. Ito, ang length nito is T1 plus T2. So, therefore, that is equal to, 53.59 plus 72.72. The answer is 126.31. Okay, that is 126.31 meter. And this is X. Ito, 30 degrees. That is what? 38.2. And this one is 111.8. So therefore, we can now solve for the value of x. That is what? X over sine ng 38.2 is equal to 126.31 over sine of 111.8. So therefore, ano ang value ng x natin? Okay, the value of x is what? 126.31 times what? Sine 38.2 over sine of 111.8. Okay, the answer is what? 84.13. Okay, that is 84.13. So therefore, pag pinlas mo yan, yung total length niyan, ng distance na yan, 53.59 plus 84.13, the answer will become 137.72. Okay, this is 137.72 meters. Okay po. Edi, ang dali na. Makukuha na natin yung mga stationing. Say for example for PC. Okay, so erase ko na lang to para sorry po, hindi ko nasulat. 84.13 meters to, no? Okay. Ayan po, no? So for PC, that is 10,430 minus 137.72. So therefore, the stationing of PC is simply 10,040 minus 137.72. The answer is 10,292.28. So ibig sabihin, ang sagot dyan is 10 plus 292. What is this? 28, no? 10 plus 292.28. So that is now the stationing of PC. So madali na ngayon sa point of compound curve, that is what? 10,292.28. I-plus mo lang yung length ng curve 1, which is 105. So therefore, the stationing for PCC is simply 10 plus 292.28 plus 105. Okay, you have what? You have 10,397. So 10 plus ano to? 397.28. 397.28. And finally, for the value for the stationing of PT, that is simply equal to 10,397.28 plus the length of curve from PCC to PT, which is equal to 140. So therefore, ano ang value ng stationing ng PT? That is plus 140. You have what? 10 plus 537.28, no? 10 plus 537.28. So that is now the final answers, no?